Hello, sports fans from around the world. It's the one you've been waiting for, the NRL SuperCoach BDE podcast. We are the best draft experts here to jump into all the round 14 NRL team list action. We've got some expertise to share with you, and we are right in the thick of bye season. But boy, Dodzer, it's bloody good to have a week where we can just put up near our best teams, sans your beautiful wires, mate.
Yes, mate, no wires this weekend after that thriller last Sunday. They really closed off the round for me. But yeah, look, good to fire up all your big boys this week. Get them out there, get them going, and try and get some wins in this real tough period of the year.
Absolutely, mate. And for our loyal listeners, I know we say it often, but you definitely want to be putting some plans in place for next week already, Simo. Size up whether you got a red-hot chance to win and maybe make your moves this week, even via trade.
Yeah, it's definitely a time of the year to be trading, no doubt about that. I think the big thing for me at this particular year is not just round 15 coming up, but also the rounds preceding, the rounds after that as well. So we've just had a tricky round. What was it, 13 last week? That was kind of tough. Those three teams on bye. I know that I think the Broncos and Souths, as well as one other team that I can't remember off the top of my head, have 16. a tricky little buy in 16. So
yep,
it is tricky. It's very hard to manage. Obviously, we want Sharks and Tigers players because they cover both. But yeah, there's a good chance that if you load up on 15, you might sort of do yourself into a bit of a hole come 16. So yeah, just make sure you're on top of everything. Maybe have a few plans in place to sort of know exactly what you want to do. And I mean, sometimes players can overperform too, and then you can get a bit attached to them and not want to drop them. So, yeah, trading in that particular instance is definitely something you should look at.
Absolutely, mate. And mercifully, the other team in that buy round I just confirmed is Parramatta. So probably affecting those in the deeper leagues or the Jordan Samrani lovers out there, of which he has plenty of fans this year. Bloody can play the game of football, to be fair. He's good. All right. Gentlemen, keen to dive into the action this week. And I don't know about you, but how good is it to have Thursday night footy back? I love Thursday night footy. Unashamedly, just starts the thinking about the weekend on a Thursday night. Yeah, good stuff. So interesting game as well here, Todzer, with the mighty Sea Eagles versus the Rabbitohs. And, mate, we've got some very key inclusions back here to make this a bit of a blockbuster. Albeit Latrell Mitchell is out, but Latrell Seawalt doing his best. I'll actually start there, Todzer. He becomes a very interesting player now with the bye coverage because he's actually put together a 90-odd and a 60. I have to imagine goal kicking is still his. He looked good. I could be wrong, but he looked like he could hit him pretty sweet. Matchup's not horrible either. Mate, he plays the all-important bye next round, and I don't know about you, but confidence in Big Trelly coming back for round 18.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sure about that, would I? Big Trelly. Look, Trell Segwell played pretty well last outing, so I love the shout out here, mate. Should probably get you enough points to be pretty happy with it.
I think so. Simo's a good call. Don't rely on him as your halfback, fullback, rest of season, or even make sure you consider 16. But I tell you what, he's going to get started even in 10-team leagues in a bye round. It's hard to ignore. So, boys, I think just dependent on your need and given how hard fullback can be to cover, yeah, I'd be going early. Bring him in. I like it.
Yeah, it's just that duel, isn't it? I mean, there's a very good chance you're going to need to chuck in a halfback or a fullback in 15. Obviously, the bye in 16, but then he's still good. He's good for 17 and 18 after that. So yeah, it's I think he's definitely a guy to go and add because I think he's going to have pretty good value.
Yep.
As you guys said, should be kicking goals.
Speaking of kicking goals, our man Saran of X fame. Good to have you aboard, good sir, and also welcome to all our loyal listeners who've joined us already. So always good to see the crew every Tuesday, no matter how tough work life and personal life gets. It's good fun. So sticking with the Bunnies. Alex Johnson's in there, hopefully. He's rehabbed a little bit and he looks a bit better. So that's an interesting one. Jai Gray. Simo, I think there's a red-hot chance, mate, through the bye week. He may have been dropped in many a league with the uncertainty around Dufty. He's had some injury risk. Mate, for the run home, given the bye coverage, he's a pretty easy waiver claim for me if he's out there, mate.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. Like, obviously in our league of record, it's good that you and I are bringing this up because for the listeners, like I did drop him in ours. I had to do so to try and ensure a win in one of the buys, and Redford, you've scooped him up, and I think that's fair play. I think like there's a lot of uncertainty with Dufty there, and I mean that's not why I dropped him, but there could be leagues out there that maybe lost a bit of faith in him, thought that benching might have been something a bit more sinister. Obviously, it turns out not to be the case, and Wayne Bennett was just trying to sort of ease him through the round before the bye so he could have that extended rest. So, yeah, he's got to be someone that's a pretty decent waiver claim and, covers these big buys, which is what you want.
Yeah, he's kind of that looking for players that I might spend a slightly higher claim on, Simo, just because of that rest of season coverage. But also, you'd be foolish to think, touch wood, everyone should as I say this, that the fullback you've got starting for you is guaranteed to be there for you rest of the season, like attrition all over the shop. So I've got him pretty mid to high for, even if you've got an established fullback for that reason, especially, again, listeners, if you play the bye period. Campbell Graham, Todzer, you similar, mate. I know in League of Record you had to drop him due to a bit of a roster squeeze, and he's already been snapped up again pretty early doors. I actually had a quick look at him as I was doing my own wavering, the early waivers this week. Mate, he's put together a pretty decent little resume of late. It's just the in-game injury risk that terrifies me, mate. Like, it really does.
That's been the case with old Campbell Graham's whole career, really, hasn't it? But when he is on, sort of a walk-up kind of 55, 60 guy with big upside in this team when they get humming. So I like the play. I think he's a good stash. Going to be a big seated up next week.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. 15 and 18 coverage is pretty huge. So he's another one. So, as you can see, Souths have featured well. I'm not going to spend too long on this because I already feel really unclean about doing it. But Cody Walker as well. 5'8" sucks. If you need one, go get him. The Ezra Mam owner, who I happen to be, I picked up Cody just a bit of insurance. He's your pretty obvious one if he's out there. I think he would be dropped in plenty of leagues. He's not been lighting it up. He's probably at least hovering around the 7 to 11 mark each week in scoring. And what you're hoping there is that South catch fire when the trail comes back on the run home. So he's probably as good a bet as any, depending on your need, especially if you've just lost Ezra or you need a bye period. I think, again, mid to high is fine for me. Not exciting. Don't think he's a league winner. Brandon Smith is back. I just want to quickly mention it, gentlemen. You can give me a very simple thumbs up or thumbs down if you think there's even anything to look at there. I cannot believe he's been named to start, to be honest, after all how it's gone.
Yeah, down for me, unfortunately.
How many times have we been here? This is probably the third time this year. He's been injured pretty much every time. So
yeah, you can get me one more time, mate. No, I'm joking. No.
Yeah, go back to the well.
Why not?
Brave. You have to be brave.
I would be the only one of the three of us who potentially would make an argument. But, you want to talk about in-game injury risk. He's taken that to a level that even Wade Egan would be proud of. So, my God, just watching Wade Egan again oh, my God. At one point,
him and Calmer in the same day, dog. They both, every time they got rolled or looked, my goodness.
You saw the one where he tried to rule himself out after falling on the ground again? What a talented player, but I swear that hurts him even for a look in. He gets mentioned in rep duties sometimes. I can't imagine that's holding up too well for, the durability. So,
what about when Kelmer ran over Sandon Smith for the third time? And, Sandon was just about HIA every time it happened. And then on the third one, Kelmer stayed down after steamrolling him. I was like, mate.
He always does. He's
put
just...
him on toast.
He's playing, to be fair to anyone watching, the kid's playing some bloody good football, but geez, he's nervous. Just a couple of mentions. Golden Rich loves telling us about his tips. We'll quickly give him the light of day. He tips the Panthers to beat the Warriors. I think that's really Needle and you, Tods. Yep. Very good. Very good, Golden Rich.
Well done, mate. Love you too.
Lucas Mentos, good to have you back, good sir. The boys, he says, awesome to have you aboard, mate. It's good year. Okay, so the other one, if you're a Tallis Duncan owner, he hasn't been horrible in the centers, but we know it does cap that sort of that higher floor, and I think, honestly, as weird as it sounds, better chance of some sort of upside on an edge there. So I am very excited that he's back in for any owners. Big Fifi's back. Just quickly checking, gentlemen, because I think it's important we cater to all leagues, shallower ones or those that are a little newer. He might be out there. I would hope people prepared a little sooner. But if they didn't, I just want you to check for me, lads, as we go through the teams. Does he maintain as the clear number one pickup if he happens to be out there? So we won't go deep analysis. You obviously want a piece of that on the run home. He's not the David Fafita of old of the 80 minutes of, 80-plus average. But I tell you what, if there's a solid man in there who will spike some upside on the run home, yeah, he's a good get.
Yeah, I'd probably look to trade him if I owned him, to be perfectly honest.
Don't hate it.
I know that you've held him all this time, but now that he's back, people will be sniffing around and they'll be obviously much more keen. So it is tricky for you to then look to sell, but I think that's probably the right play. If you could turn him into somebody else, obviously it's record dependent, but I don't have a great amount of hope that he's going to get through the season unscathed. Old DFIFI. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'd probably, obviously depending on the offer, but yeah, I think I'd be leaning that way.
2RF this season as well, Simo, if you think of guys that have just kind of emerged and are probably going to average more than him, I'm trying to think of a lowly drafted guy, like Stewart, Hamish Stewart, not that fancy preseason, is averaging closer to 70. Is Fifi really a point of difference here? I'm with you. He's a big name. You could get a haul if but obviously listeners take into account he plays 15 and 18 though. No chance of origin selection this year behind Finafili and Lukey very, very firmly. So
yeah, I think for the buy coverage, I get it. It's worth holding, I suppose, but yeah, I wouldn't begrudge anyone that decided to move Fifi on just with that risk of a re-injury or whatever, because he's sort of starting to get a few things happen in that regard.
That's fair. G'day, Cal. Great to have you aboard again, mate. Wait for a big score or sell now on Fifi? I'm probably in the wait and certainly play out through 15 and then see where you're at, Cal. Simo's more of the big name, try and move him now. I think maybe a combination of those two things, you could kick the tires a little bit, but at the same token, don't give him up too cheap, which I think Simo's pretty consistent with both of our advice there, to be honest.
Yeah. Price, as I said, price dependent, for sure.
Yeah, Cal just feels like he hasn't hit the upside. I agree, and I do think he'll be due something. I'd prefer it when Trell's back, though. And also, g'day, Cal. Love your work, mate.
G'day, Cal.
G'day, Cal. Okay, so Manly. Here's one of these players that has to be discussed right now. Clayton Failolo. We've talked about him a lot on this potty. Yep, he's really good at the game of football. Well done, Manly. They've locked him up for a couple of years too, which is just news to the ears. And Fozball is here to stay, baby. Lock him in 2029. The most obvious coach signing we've seen, Todzer, in quite some time, to be fair.
Yeah. Make yourself undeniable. That's how you go from interim coach to head coach. It's a simple thing to do, mate. And Foz has just got those boys going, mate. It's good to see. It's got good little fun game against the Sharks last weekend, but you see what they're building there, which is pretty cool.
It's awesome, mate. So the debate rages on. Clayton Failolo, holy crap, is he stating a case to say somewhere in that back line. You couldn't do more than this guy has done. This is the big week, listeners, where they do cover round 18. Now, you'd have to think, it's one of those really weird moments for mine. If Turbo comes back in 16, lights it up for 2 weeks, and they've actually got the centre situation for New South Wales isn't good, sadly, you wouldn't rule him out, as crazy as that sounds. But Failolo, Simo, do you think he ousts either Garrick, who's obviously moving on to the Roosters and played some pretty poor football on the weekend in a loss? Geez, he was rough. Or the perennially rough Jason Saab? Is he any shot of ousting either of those two for you?
No, I don't think so. It pains me to say it, but I honestly don't see it happening. Without injury, I don't think. Failolo's been awesome. There's no other way to slice it. But obviously, it's been at fullback, and I don't think you can just dump him on a wing and replace Saab and expect him to have that same impact. We see it all the time. Failolo's, killed it in New South Wales Cup in previous years as a fullback, and is now doing it in the NRL. Do I see Foran moving Saab just to accommodate Failolo? Different position? No, I don't.
Yeah, Todzer. I want to see what you think first.
About Failolo? No, I think he goes back to the bench, man. I think they'll keep this lineup. steady, and he'll be just used as a utility when needed.
I agree with both of you, and I agree. That's why I brought him up as someone, if you can convince someone otherwise, could sneak through a sell to get a player in the buy round or just convince the rest of the season. I want to throw in there, if any coach could do it and see it like we do, Fosball. I just want to put it out there. He's the one coach that could go, oh, yeah, Jason Saab, you actually got pretty shit handling and your defense isn't very good. Clayton Falolo, you're actually a really good young player and you've helped me. Here's your spot on the wing. In which case, you would love to have him on the wing for the run home, gentlemen. That would be kind of sick, to be honest. Okay. Couple of comments. Our man Will Cluck is here. Laid in. Love Tuesday nights. Love you too, mate. Good stuff. Any Simo glitches tonight yet? Ouch. He's rocking a new computer, so it's doing some work.
I'm a constant glitch, Will. You know that, mate.
As you do glitch a little bit there for the first time. Crazy. Golden Rich, I don't think he did anything to Manly. Sorry, Simo.
No.
No, he's good. Guitar Man 816. Hey, boys. Good to have you back, mate, as well. Great to have our listeners join us on a Tuesday night as well. All right. Just checking off the Ewan Aiken moment, gentlemen. It's Jesus. Cam Murray. Yeah, you can hang on to him going into next week where it'll probably be a pretty decent start. So just bench him for this week. Kula and Olukwatu in. That's massive for anyone around Manly. That'll obviously give some upside. Aside from that, I don't really see anything in the way of waivers, gentlemen. Nah. Simpkin actually has been getting slightly better minutes over Wakeham, but it's just hard to trust. Paseka Truthers. Do this again for another year, Taniela, and tell me he's not better than AFB at this stage of his career. Just really, when you watch him play, he's really good at football. His go forward is awesome. Like, really good. All right. Nothing else there, boys, from that game. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, mate. I think we covered that one.
Beautiful. Saran, GoFundMe for new internet for Simo. Mate, your loyal fans, they look after you. I love it.
Very good.
All right. Copping a bit, the fella, but he's here and he's listened. He's got the new computer. Love your work.
I say it every week, mate. It's not like I don't deserve it. So GoFundMe, send me the links around.
Taking it on the chin like a true bronze prince. Love your work, mate. All right. Really big game here against a somewhat resurgent Storm, albeit not having not having a bad run of late in terms of their scheduling and who they'll come up against. But they look back now. Suafa'alongo, he's going to goal kick, Todzer. Enjoy that for a while.
Crazy. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I thought he hit him pretty sweet, to be fair. Not bad at all.
Yeah. We'll probably come out and hit them like dog shit this week, I reckon. It feels very hot and cold. It feels very hot and cold.
A little bit too much swing, maybe. Look, in terms of SuperCoach options, so Moses Leo doesn't play 15. He's playing a lot better real-life football at the moment. We brought him up last week, Simo.
Yeah.
Oh, either of you interested? Because he looked all right.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'll go for him. Like, we did say he was a good player, and he's proven it again. I mean, he's definitely not he's not someone that's got great buy coverage, which is the big problem. So he's probably just a free agent. But I mean, he showed signs of life there on that wing, so you got to take him pretty seriously, I think.
He's pretty decent. Definitely part of Toddy's favourite word. That's platoon number 1 for me for the week.
Just the one.
Manage the buy. It's only the first of many, mate, but he's definitely in there. And I know you missed that on your week off, mate, with your ill health. So
I definitely watched the podcast, mate. Don't worry about that.
All good. Cal says Xavier Coates incoming imminent. Yes, the double whammy. He is, and that could make it tough longer term. Don't know what Willie Warbrick's really doing at the moment to justify his spot. Hasn't had a good run of late, either SuperCoach or real life.
Oh, boy, he's been rough.
I said to Todzer, don't really understand the signing for New Zealand almost at all. I'm not actually that big a fan of Willie Warbrick. He's all right. Not that special. And I think, Todzer, you were like, yep, that's how I see it too.
Right. Especially with like AKP going so well, Dallon's going good. Like, I just don't get it.
Like, he might be a better centre than Pompey, maybe. Yep, I'm with you, Will.
Maybe.
Warbrick playing like he's been hit by a brick. Absolutely. It's not been pleasant. So wouldn't be starting him here either. But Moses Leo, I could get around it. Cam Munster's back for anyone that was patient with him or bought low. He actually is beating the first man sometimes now. It's amazing. So well done. Good for those who believed and said he wasn't completely washed. Definitely found something. Thank you to the Tigers and Parramatta for playing him into form. All right, just the rest of it here. Josh King's having
just not Munster. Do you reckon he's a sell high?
Probably, but 5'8" again is so crap that he gives you another way to win rest of season.
I guess so.
So it's probably like in the same, Fletcher Sharp's found a bit of form, then he got Munster. Trindle's going to be the best player in Supercoach for the next 4 weeks while Hines is out, and then it's really nothing else. So
yeah, true.
Yeah. Cooper Clark does hang on to the edge spot. With Joe Chan's obviously out of favour and Sean Bloor on the extended, picked a really good time to get that spot last week. FRF2 pretty locked in here, gentlemen, if people aren't sure. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, he is one of those ones who's just been a bit of an enigma for us on this podcast. Like, we've spooked him, and then like we rate him as a player when he come off the bench and said he'll be a good Supercoach play. And then I remember, was it 2 weeks ago in the buy round, I think it was, and like Toddy, you were all about him as a, I remember you saying the words like he's an FRF1 for this buy round, and like for some ungodly reason he's gone out and pumped out like a 32 or something crap.
Absolutely,
and that's when we were all over him. And now, obviously, he's played really good again last week, and you see why he's such a good prospect. And now he's got the spot again, and it's like I think we just got to keep doubling down because he's such a good player. I know he burned us last time. It's obviously why he's probably going to be out there in a lot of leagues because he did certainly hurt a lot of people. So, I'd be jumping back on him because I think he's too good a player to like. There's a score in there, I think, is what we're trying to get at here. It's just a matter of when.
Jewel, he's FRF currently, but round 18.
No, he's 2RF. He's dual. Yeah, he's a big dual boy. Yeah, boy.
Well, the dual does make it pretty juicy. Doesn't play the buys, though, so he's tough. You got to put the little asterisks there. If you're not worried about next week's buy round or even 18, it could give you a number. That is it for Melbourne. I was starting to say before we went in a different direction, Josh King having an annoyingly effective Supercoach season, and it kind of bugs me. I'm not enjoying it. So,
but he did that try scoring thing like 2 years ago, from lock.
Yeah, he did. It was annoying, and he's kind of just doing enough to be relevant now, and I don't like it.
Yuck.
All right. My beloved Knights, I'll just say from an NRL perspective, it was great that we won against Para with being far from our best and also Ponga not being the one responsible for the win. He was just rock solid at the back, but our other players did great. Look, I'm not delighted with Sandon Smith getting injured, gentlemen. I think he has been absolutely fantastic for us, particularly in attack. He just has something a little different. So many halves just shovel it along when they just do basic block shapes. He's kind of inventive, and I think in this modern game with the speed and the fatigue in the defenses, he should be starting at a club somewhere. I've said it before, and nothing's changed in my mind. But isn't it amazing then that we've got Fletcher comes into the 6, which is fantastic. As per the comments of Lucas Mentos, Daddy Lucas, oh my days, the pace. Yep, he's quick. He is bloody fast. Trey Mooney, Toddsy, you're an owner. You traded for him. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
Trajectory here, like it's not been pretty. His actual gameplay has dropped off a little bit too. What's trajectory here, mate? Is there a sneaky weird buy low? Do you try and sell him on the average? What is it?
No, I think if I was the owner, which I am, I'm just a hold. I think he goes back to being that PPM beast we saw. I'd be going out and trying to buy him on the low if the owner is not happy with the last week's 37 or the week before's 50. I think it'd be cool to buy low there. I think there's better days coming for Trey, but he spent a lot of time off last weekend. I was really too sure about that.
He did, absolutely. Really good question here. Good to have you aboard as always, Meso, loyal as they come. So is Sandon a hold, though? Is he reliant on an injury to be starting? If he does start, he's a top 10 hooker. Seems a risk to hold him. Yeah, you can't hold, mate. I think the injury could be up to 5 to 6 weeks from here. I think you drop him because he's not even a guaranteed start. What it has done, though, is you've got our man, Phoenix Crossland, is somehow remains relevant at the hooker position. He just keeps on keeping on. So for those who've somehow relied on him, you've probably got enough minutes and movement to lock to actually make him relevant. So
Yeah,
that's
probably
awesome.
get his 50 to 55 that he sometimes does when it breaks his way.
That seems to be the play. He still can fold him. He's good at that. Lucas Mentos says, is Sharp looking more comfortable with his knee? He absolutely is. It's towards the end of a game, he shows it a bit more, but he's at least getting through, 60 minutes without hobbling every time. So better days coming. Probably the buy low window's already snapped shut, Simo. Like, he's already put 2 good scores together. I think you're gone now.
Yeah, I agree. People who own him, they've been getting enough good scores there to keep them afloat. Like, are they hundreds? No, but they're 60s and 70s, which is perfectly good at 5'8". So yeah, you're probably not going to get the owners to be panicking too much on him. So yeah, you probably missed that window.
Could load up if someone really needs to win a 15 buy and you've got a playable option in 15 that you can trade off. We'll literally cover the run home, and Knights have a pretty good draw too, including 18. Paul's Mouth, good to have you back, good sir. How do you pick when Dillbags will get a score? As the Knights fan, I will definitely answer this, and I'm going to say that I just don't think it's set up for him to have the big spike scores. He's the best defensive half in the game by it is ridiculous. Like, him and CHT both fold people front on just about the same. He's cover tackling, gentlemen, on anyone who's try to run past him. He doesn't miss. He's ridiculous.
No, he always has been amazing.
It's you actually notice it, Simo. I don't watch defense, but you're like, oh, there he is again. Like, incredible.
Yeah. They don't get past him.
But I think that's what he's there for. Tell me if either of you see it. Toddsy, you're an owner. I just think he's built for a 40 to 70 kind of range. Like, on a good day, 70. The average day, he'll get you 40 to 50. But for me, he's not a match winner. And if you could sell him on the name and the promise that he will, I'd even be prepared, mate, if I'm wrong for a couple of weeks on the run home. That doesn't bother me. He's not going to hit 100 almost, like maybe once.
Yeah, no, I think you've nailed it there, mate, to be perfectly honest. I'm an owner. If someone came to me with a trade offer that was good enough, I'd definitely be okay letting them go kind of thing. And trying to sell him on the name for sure.
Yeah, because he will – great coverage in 18, but that's where I see him. He's like on the fringe of a top 10 with all the good halfback options, which is surprisingly deep position this year. It's just not there for him. Paul says, reckon he's got the Munster vibe where he'll step up against good teams only. Could do. Like, I actually like your theory there, but again, are you going to score as many points against a good team? So it's just a tough one. As our man Stanger's back, so got offered Ponga for Walsh. Thoughts? Don't play the buy rounds in our league, cowards. I love the cowards at the end. I won't start. I'm going to start with you, Todds. Which side of that do you want for the run home, good sir?
I would prefer to be on Kalen Ponga for the run home.
Yep.
Yeah.
And without buys makes it even easier, right? Because if Walsh did in fact play 15 and 18, that does make it bloody close. But Simo,
I think I'm there. Yeah, I think I'd say Ponga.
The team environment. Yeah.
Yeah, like the fact that he's come through the other side and is kicking goals definitely now. Obviously, Sandon Smith's injured, but he was kicking goals regardless when Sandon was in the team. And I think there was always that cloud sort of going into drafts, like,
that's true.
Ponga's upside cap because he won't get the goal kicking all the time. Like, he might do that weird thing like the Cowboys, how sometimes Drinkwater would kick and then sometimes he randomly hand it over to Clifford, whereas obviously, Clifford's doing it all this year. But last year's version of the Cowboys was a bit annoying for Drinkwater owners. And, Ponga's sort of got that now. So, I think obviously Ponga's got the injuries that could hold you back and could make you sort of go there. But, I think the upside with the kicking is probably in Ponga's favour.
It's a very nervous watch if you make that trade, mind you. Like, I'd almost not do it on the case of you're inviting the carnage. Like, I'd almost, because it's a true one-for-one, gentlemen, I don't tend to accept those when I'm not 100% sure on either side. I probably just, especially not having buy coverage here required, I probably don't accept, even though I agree with both of you. So you don't always have to for that reason. And I just add a little bit of analysis there. Stanger, I'd have a very, very close look at when your team play your final, specifically your grand final. to make a determination on which matchups you prefer. Because honestly, when it comes down to two of those guys, if they're fit, team environment should be good by that stage. It's really who is on the other side. That's me. So cool. I love that people offer trades like that, though. That's sick. All right. Jermaine McEwen, I think Cecil Wonga line really quickly. He's not making it at the moment. I had a good look. It's not quite there. So if you have to drop him, you have to drop him. You're probably going to struggle even to get a low ball trade at this stage as well, gentlemen. So yeah, bit of a tough one. He just looks good, but it just hasn't quite worked. All right. Come on, Thomas Kent. Get out there, mate. Love to see him play. Raiders v Roosters. Somewhat improving Raiders team, which I think is not a super surprise when you have Super Tarpany through the buys. Todza, he is a manimal at the moment.
What an absolute machine Joey Taps is, hey. Huge.
Like, he's the best front rower in the game right now, not on, like, I don't think talent and all that, but when he's playing like this, he is, like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just love watching him play. And then because so many other of the content creators talk about his average during both before Origin, during Origin, and after, the moment that round 17 is done, you say, see you, Joe, go trade him for someone else, because he also doesn't play 26. So, all right. Okay, so just on the Raiders, Dane, 6 positions a season, Laurie, is now in the centres. He actually acquitted himself somewhat decently in the middle, aside from looking like his head got rocked several times as he got bent backwards. But bloody hell, is he just a trier? And I reckon Ricky is just loving a bit of Dane Laurie. If you need someone in his eligible positions, which I think is fullback.
Just fullback.
It is, isn't it? If you need someone, I don't hate this matchup, Simo. I'm probably okay with it. And he plays 15 as well.
He does play, he plays the 15, which is nice. It's look, I'm not super excited to roll out Dane Laurie in my fullback spot playing centre in real life, I'm perfectly honest. But, like, obviously the scenario you've laid out there means you're probably pretty desperate. Like, it's I mean, obviously if it's break glass in case of emergency, then sure. But, yeah, it's one of those ones that, like, I probably prefer to move, like, stay away from, to be perfectly frank. But,
yeah, fair enough.
He's been playing well, don't get me wrong.
Tane to a picky, maybe. I mean, you're hopefully playing him in your CT dub anyway, if at all possible. But yeah, good shout. Just going through the rest of it, Ethan Sanders will be a very popular play in the buy round. So if you need a halfback, probably get on him this week just as a free agent pickup. He'll do a job for you in 15. Tommy Starling, very hard to trust, but did play. He played his best game of the season on the weekend. He looked outstanding. I will stay with you for that one, Simo, just because we have been absolute we're Starling lovers. But we've been on him how many years now? 6? Something like that. He goes on little patches, so it actually wouldn't surprise me here. With Brayley in 13 and only Paddy on the bench, I think this is more a chance of being the 60 to 65 minute Tommy. He's a yes for me the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd be pretty shocked if he didn't get at least 60 minutes this week, to be honest. Like, Paddy came on last week, I think, with about sort of, I can't remember if it was either 14 minutes to go or 18 minutes to go, somewhere like that. So he obviously got well, truly over the 60. With Brayley also, like in the 13, like there's a sneaky, a bit of chance that Starling could go off, maybe take 15 minutes off at the 60-minute mark and come back on and play lock for like the last 6 or 7 minutes, which, I know that's not a very massive amount of time, but like if he's having a running role for like 6 or 8 minutes, like, that's going to be pretty well 1 ppm in those last few minutes there, which is obviously like a little boon to his value. So, yeah, I think Tommy Starling's a great guy to be looking at if he's available out there. Obviously, the big score is going to be something that people are going to look for, but like he's just playing such good footy that I think he's pretty safe in terms of his minutes there and has a decent amount of upside, which is always good at hooker.
And a ripping questions come in from Will. Starling or JMK season long? Todza, I'm going to throw to you, mate, because there's 2 of my favorite hookers in the league. I think best service in the league outside Brayley, JMK, and then Starling just a goer for SuperCoach. That's not easy with JMK benched in favour of Plath, and that's not gone as well as we hoped.
No, it certainly hasn't gone as well as we hoped. Just the only thing you're really hoping for with JMK is that it's just sort of building him back to minutes, but doesn't seem to be the case. In terms of season long, I still want to take JMK, I think.
Yeah, I can side with that because of the coverage of 15 and 18 as well. Because Tommy Starling, if he returns to more of like a slightly lower minute, lower average, he's going to be dropped in 18 anyway if you play the buys. So I'm with you on JMK, but geez, it'd be hard to flat drop Starling to start JMK this week.
This week would be
very tough sell. So tough one, Will. A really good question, mate. All right, Zach Hosking, holy crap, there's another Origin darling. Just get him in there and watch him score 70 and 80 each week. He's good on an edge. Crazy that he's just like a bench middle in this team. But anyway,
pretty wild.
I guess it's his injury records held it against him over the years probably because he'd probably be starting if that hadn't happened. Over to the Roosters, Billy Smith has to be mentioned here, gentlemen. It's risky. In-game injury risk is enormous. Between games, scooter risk is enormous. But Billy Smith, like Todza, has to seriously be considered. Covers the 15 bye, and he has the coveted left wing position. And you better believe Sammy Walker's not going to put up again this week. A couple of kicks coming his way, mate. He's a pretty solid claim, right, with Tupou on the shelf.
Yeah, with Tupou on the shelf, he looks like a good claim. You got Mark Nawaqanitawasi also waiting in the 23 jersey, mate. So there's every chance he doesn't actually play Billy Smith.
See you, Cody. It's been good knowing you, but didn't quite have his best. Can run fast.
Yeah. They kind of like him there, though, so I'm not really too sure what's going to happen. But, yeah, look, Billy Smith, if he locks down that spot, definitely one to go get.
Yeah, definitely. Very specifically, if you play the 15 bye, he can be an option for you. Cody Ramsey will cover fullback in 15, so probably just don't play him this week, but you'll at least get that. That'll be a fun watch, actually. I'm kind of keen to see how he goes because great story and all that.
If his ankle's fine.
Good call, Simo. Absolutely, mate. Very simply, again, gentlemen, Marky Mark, if he's out there, listeners, you break the bank. You do what you can to get Marky Mark. I hope he's not out there in leagues, but please go do that now. And if you don't have the number one waiver, find a way to trade for the number one waiver to get Marky Mark. It's pretty simple advice. He is going to have one hell of a finish to the season. I'd love to be an owner myself. Okay, Connor Watson, absolutely not an option, just getting smoked minutes. Again, I swear I saw one of the so-called experts say an Origin option. What are they watching? Like, I have to ask, what has he done to make it look like he should be picked especially as a hooker, considering his service when he's played there for the last 18 months? It is maddening when I see those posts. I don't understand.
He's an absolute 13, Connor Watson. Like he had that good year, was it 2 years ago at 13, where he absolutely beasted it for SuperCoach, playing big minutes at lock. And then the year after, he played 9. And I think he wasn't terrible for SuperCoach because he was playing 80 minutes, but he just wasn't the real gun that he was the year before as a lock. And this day and age, I mean, to your point, the service isn't there. He's a leg speed, quick through the middle sort of lock that can have a smidge of ball playing, but not obviously known for that. But yeah, as a 13, he's awesome, but I'm not a fan of him as a 9.
I'd even say though, great analysis, mate. Exactly how I see it. He's more Kurt Mann in the service department these days, which is also incredible that he is starting at 9 again this week. But I also think he's probably been passed a bit. Feketi's fast leg speed through the middle is awesome. Holy crap, he's going to be a player. And Nat Butcher's had a bit of a resurgence this year in the middle too. So he's even behind there, Simo. I think that's why he's not getting the minutes. So strange signing for me. St. George, that's just what they do. And then off to PNG, I think it is. Or was it Perth?
PNG.
I get it. He'll be solid. He'll do a job. It's the wrong time in his career. But I get it. They've got to get numbers.
I can't begrudge him for signing a guy like Connor Watson. I think he's still a first grader. Like, if you're a new starting franchise, you take players that you can get. So
as long as not overs, I
think it's not bad signing for us.
I hope it's a good, fair deal, and he will solidify. He's still pretty good defensively, so yeah, that's fair. All right, moving on forward, the Cows versus the Dolphins. Very interesting game, battle of two Queensland teams. Todza, Murray Taulagi, mate, he's very good at football. I love watching him on the weekend.
Looked hungry for work, big fella.
He doesn't need to score tries to be relevant, does he? Him and Burns actually are amazing for the Cowboys when they play. Just finds his own work. He's an offload machine. I personally think Jojo should be dropped and he'd come in for Origin if he has a big week this week. I think he's a gun.
Jeez, what did Jojo do wrong?
Pretty high-profile drop, unfortunately, at the worst possible time. Otherwise, had a pretty good game, if not a little ineffective with the ball, but in my opinion. Murray Taulagi's a gun, though. And he's done it at Origin level. He's just got to have a big week. So if I can't imagine he's out there, but as a guy that I'd be very happy to – I think, Simo, you and I have been agreement on him for a while. I think people miscast him as like a bottom of your rotation CTW, like a 3 or a 4. I think he's a 2 with whistles. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, I think those were the exact words we said last week. Like, he's a bona fide CTW 2. Anyone that values him less than that, I'm happy to trade for him and get, CTW 2 prices. Like, his injuries definitely are something. Like, he does get soft tissues and things, but yeah, it's just definitely is someone that doesn't get the love that he probably deserves.
Yeah, I think if he was can you imagine if he was on the left wing at the Broncos? There'd be love.
Yeah.
Oh, there'd be love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Walker, for the neg 1. Yep, I'm feeling that as well. Brutal. Muzz over Jojo for Maroons, 1,000,000%, says our man Cal. Yep, he's seen it the same. Great audition on the weekend. He's telling you it was awesome. Rest of season value real quick here, Tods, are on Jakey Clifford, mate. He is still looking. I think he's just arrived. I know maybe the peak SuperCoach performance with Cowboys without Dearden might not be there, but it's real, and the floor is so high.
Yeah, he's had a couple of down weeks, but mate, especially last week, 34. But you're right, he's sort of doing everything there. I think they will have better times than what against the Raiders last week. So I don't think we're going to see those massive 100 tons all the time now that Dearden's not there. But I do think he'll still be pretty viable heading towards the end of the year.
I would potentially – no dramas, mate. Thank you for joining us when you could, fella. Good questions tonight. I would kick the tires on Clifford, Tots. With 5'8" being as shit as it is going into next week's bye, if your league plays buys, people might be like, it's just Jake Clifford. Maybe try and sneak it through to give yourself something rest of the season. Think he would still be gettable, personally. Jackson Purdue, Simo, the flat track bully himself. Does this qualify as a game where you could actually start him? Because I want to admit something to you. Him running down the X-Man means I got to put my hand up and say you were correct. He is faster than I am. 100%. We do that on this podcast. If we get it wrong, that blew me away. That was burning speed.
Bro, he fast as fuck, boy. God damn.
His gameplay, on the other hand, which is what we're interested in, SuperCoach, he has dropped off something absolutely fierce. In terms of Tane Tuapiki has started poking his head through the line as his confidence has been built and his SuperCoach has come up. Jackson Purdue's not beating the first man almost at all right now. He tries to step and burn outside and he just gets tackled almost instantly. I see the nod from you, Todd, you as an owner. Can you start him this week? Is there a buy low that I can get around here for Dearden's return? Give me something.
I think you could go out and buy low on Jackson Purdue. I think, although him having the 5'8" tag probably will still mean you're still paying Jackson Purdue name price, I think.
Sure.
In terms of firing up this week, I think this is a fun matchup against the Dolphins. They've been pretty decent, but there is some fun matchups here, and I think there's every chance that Jackson Purdue does do well this week. So, I like it. I like the buy low, but I do think he's got a big enough name.
Yeah, okay. I'm struggling a bit with it, and it's just going to – he's even hard – if he didn't have the 5'8", he'd be dropped through the buy. Let's not pretend, unless he brained it this weekend, which is kind of crazy to say out loud, but it's the truth. Further
you're looking at him as a 5'8", definitely. Anytime, pretty much all season, as soon as you mention Purdue, there's not many people that would not have him on their roster if he wasn't for the 5'8" position. So, we keep talking about how bad 5'8" is. I think just like Jackson Purdue has showed so much at the start of the year. I think you just got to back him in to find that form again. I know it's a bit of a lull, but I'm still like I'm going to say it last week. I would still be very keen on him. I think he's too good a player to stay quiet for too long.
Just quickly, if you're the Ezra Mam owner, and maybe if Duffy, we'll talk about in a minute, comes in and brains it, other Duffy looked great in his limited performance this year. There's a chance that works, and he'd be relying on a touchwood Adam Reynolds injury. Purdue or Cody Walker, there's probably two that could be available this week, rest of season, given the bye coverage as well.
Jackson Purdue.
Sure. Simo, is it a clear cut like for potential, or you very easy difference?
Different universe for me. Purdue by a country.
Good perspective setting. So maybe Purdue's someone, if you're a Mam owner, you could go out and try and pick up some way.
Yeah.
Just quickly for Guitar Man's benefit. Yeah, Aiken, if you play 15, mate, don't drop him because he'll almost certainly come into the back row and be a really good number for you. If you don't play 15, mate, he can go. And yes, Guitar Man is looking for the Ezra option, so definitely putting him in there. As I said, go get Tricky Trindle because you're about to win your league over the next 5 weeks. All right, over to the Finns. It's amazing to see the man himself. Herbie is back. As Herbie's number one fan since he came into the league, Todd, it just warms the cockles of your heart, old son.
Bloody oath it does. Hell of the cockles.
You got the cockles. Just in prep for next week, gentlemen, absolutely stash Tavita Nafau if you can. He will come on. He will score tries. He's very good at football. He's another one that blows my mind. He's not starting in their NRL somewhere. He's talented. So just a note, Trey Fuller can also, of course, be stashed away, as he is in most very competitive leagues, because he's going to be a great start in 15 and 18. Aside from that, there's really not much here. I think it's just as is. It's normal service resume. Good to see Izzy Katoa back as well. That's good gear. But JMK, just quickly to follow up, you hold him, listeners. You absolutely hope for the best. He still is as impactful a hooker in SuperCoach as there is. Guitar Man's jumped in. Brooks Nikarima and Luai as 5/8 alternative on waivers. Jerome Luai is your man there for me, pretty comfortably. Nikarima's in-game injury risk just makes that a little less, and then I'd have Brooks third because I can't ever get around him, even though he's been decent. Any upgrades, gentlemen?
Look, I can't believe I'm going to say it, but I think we've got to give Brooks some props there. Like, he's been much better than for us to just throw him away, especially in this sort of conversation. Like, I think we can't dismiss him fully. I guess it really comes down to if Guitar Man plays the buys. Like Brooks obviously doesn't play next week, and the other two do. So, that's probably going to end the conversation if that's the case. But assuming that you don't if you don't play 15, Brooks has been pretty consistent. So, just something to I think it's fair that he's been getting asked.
Plays buys. Your advice was great, mate. I think and obviously Brooks will be a good asset in 18, as you were saying. But given they both play 15 and 18, just really quickly for listeners, Luai is first out of that, then Nikarima too, or do you have, especially 15 coverage is needed here? So it's those two, right? Yeah.
Luai, what you said.
Yep. Just a chance as well when Dewey comes back end of the year. I'd be very excited to see what that Tigers team looks like upside-wise. Should be pretty good to watch. I think Nikarima, though, needs to quickly be mentioned, Tots. If you are an Ezra Mam owner, there is a chance he could be close to the best option you've got. I don't love spending a waiver claim because of his crazy injury record in recent times, but they are a team that hits upside, and when he hits a form patch, he actually isn't the worst option, and it means he'll average somewhere between probably 55 and 60-ish. He's okay. So I think if you're needy, and he's your best option, I'm fine with spending whatever claim you need.
Yeah, it's fine by me as well. It's not flashy though, is it?
It's not, mate. No, it isn't. You hope you get that purple patch he has in the middle of the year. And I think before he was on 40 odd at halftime before that hammy, and he was about to go on one of those runs. So probably has to get the engines running again. Don't know. Nervous start this week.
Nervous.
All right. Another Queensland derby here. Bronx, I mean, that was hilarious. I don't know if you can have worse handling in a game of NRL. Like, that is appalling. Pulkatoni was wrecked. Like, could have been rested. He looked so tired, poor guy. So did Teddy, by the way.
Madge coming down to the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Just
wrecked.
Looked like a stale bottle of beer down there, old Madge. He was not happy.
It was
it's so good to watch.
Pretty good commentary as well. They were like, there he is. He's jumped in the elevator and he sprinted down to the sideline. And I don't know, man. Like, I think that was a bit of a strange circumstance last week. I'd be jumping back on board the Bronx play this week against the Titans, having given that finish and how hungry they should be. I think that might actually work in Bronx' favor, at least for SuperCoach purposes. And Ezra Mam has been absolutely atrocious. Like, he was running in cul-de-sacs last week. It was weird. Bronx had overlaps and whatever. But I also want to make sure that the narrative includes when you've got Jack Koseski and Brendan Piakura playing on your edge back row, it is a lot harder as a half to do your job. Like, there was one time Ezra passed to Koseski, and if he was anyone with any athletic prowess, he would have strolled over inside the center. Jack grabs it and almost just stops on a spot. And you can see Ezra and they're like, what are you doing? Like, run a line, run hard. I don't know. Like, I don't think it's as easy as saying both these halves are struggling. They're just not getting the support play, right? Simo, do you see it somewhat similarly?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a defense at the moment against the Broncos, like, you just, to your point, you just letting the halves do whatever the hell they want, give it to Walsh at the back and then jam on Walsh. Like, it's, Reynolds can obviously beat you with a kicking game, but then there's no running threat there between, Duffy and Reynolds this week. I mean, it's really hard with those two edges. I think you've nailed it. It's I honestly don't see a hell of a lot in Duffy this week either, to be honest. I just don't think he's a six. Like, him and Reynolds doesn't look like a combination that's going to work for mine. It just, you got two sort of game edging style halves. Duffy's a good player. Like, he was great when he played 7, but I think losing that run threat of Ezra Mam, I just don't know about this team for the Bronx. It's pretty harsh on Ezra. Like, he's just sat on the bench for Queensland and he gets dropped. I mean, I don't know why he's the scapegoat, to be perfectly frank, but obviously, you saw some things in that game, Redford as an owner, that sort of annoys you.
Yeah, I think he's lost a bit of that acceleration at the moment, Simo, as well. I probably should point out. He just doesn't look like he has that. He had that good power to step off the left and pivot sort of back on the inside. He's not really doing that. But again, I also think it's because that space is being chewed up by your Jack Koseski types. And special mention to Brendan Piakura for putting in another it's a stank. What an absolute stank, Todzer. Wow. Like, what?
He's pretty bad. Pretty bad at football.
Who'd have thought Jordan Ricky would be a massive out for this team?
Yeah,
he's been good this year. So
he's been all effort, eh?
Big miss. So with Carrigan out as well, Willison to 13. He's had a great season for those who picked him up. So, you're not Piakura and you're not Koseski. A real good question here from Meso. Can you gents talk about Grant Anderson? Looks like he's about to get some opportunity. Agreed. He's a bit of a humdrum of a player that will never average above 50 as a center. I think you've absolutely nailed that, Meso. I would actually love to see him on the right wing. If he was starting on the right wing for the Bronx in this matchup, absolutely would be a green light for me very easily, especially off the kicks of Reynolds. Grant Anderson's one of the better, flyers we've got. Anything at all, Todzer? Because Bronx, they're going to score points here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm loving what Grant Anderson's putting out, to be perfectly honest, mate. So I'd probably be like a free agent pickup at best.
Yeah, I can live with that. And maybe a platoon start this week. Plays 15 and 18, assuming Dean Mariner isn't back by then. Boy, do the Bronx need Mariner's speed, just quietly. Just want to throw that out there. He'd be a big in for them.
So we need Karapani to do something.
Oh, that was a big bailout on the weekend for us Karapani truthers. Got the the 20 seconds left, stroll over the line.
It was horrid until then, brother. Holy.
He's lost a bit of that ability to beat the first man as well, which is just strange. They've all done it at the same time because he's fast. But anyway, Stanger, 73. Mam is leading the league in missed tackles this season with 57. Yeah, I believe it. Normally Luke Brooks has that gong all to himself, but Ezra's given him a red hot crack. So you can keep Jesse Arthurs, and I think he's off to Super League or something, and it's about right. Just about right.
Yep.
About time. Big in for the Titans, gentlemen, and I want to bring him up as a potential waiver who also covers 15. Arama Ho is, in fact, he's been given his little management section. He's back starting. He only had to oust Chris Randall from the team. That FRF eligibility, Todd, means he does have to be firmly in the waiver combo for me.
Yeah.
Can you get around it?
Yeah, I think so. We saw when he got some big minutes on the edge, put up the big scores, get over the line a bit. If he can lock up at an edge spot there, you just want to see it, especially in your FRF.
Can get hooked with Patson on the bench is the risk, and also Randall. But I think it's the low minute Cooper Bye. It's not Cooper Bye's season yet, gentlemen. He's got the talent, but it's just they're just going to let him have exposure. So you'd have to think Chrissy Randall's going to rotate through 13, I would hope. Just looking at the rest of the bench, Cleese through the middle. He's actually not been terrible for a while. Moran's sort of rotating through the middle. Patson is a little bit of a risk, Simo. I want to get around this because as an FRF rest of the season playmate, he can easily be at the bottom of the top 10. So
yeah, he's an interesting guy to talk about because of that. Like, I think on the surface, most people just look at him and go, second front row eligibility, playing on the edge. I think he's like inside unseen, you'll just chuck a waiver in. And I can't begrudge people that do. But yeah, I think, Patson, we have to remember he did play second row for a bit there. Was it 2 weeks ago when he got injured, and then obviously had the other week off. The bye just gone as well. So we just don't quite know what that role is. I mean, if you want to sort of buy into Rama Ho, you're sort of hoping for maybe a Luke Summerton to come on and play sort of 15 minutes off Pascoe. But I mean, if Pascoe plays anywhere north of like 70 plus minutes, then I'd be a little bit concerned. Like Tino being back too, back to big minutes, I should say, is interesting. Like I just wouldn't be going a super high waiver on Ho because of that risk. But I think, he ticks enough boxes, especially with the bye round and coming up and the fact that they've just had a bye themselves. Like, there's enough there that he's still a waiver. But just don't be shocked if you chuck him in your team this week and there's a chance he could only play sort of 55 minutes and score you like a mid-40 score or something. So just be mindful of that. It's definitely not a locked-in role.
I'm going to go with it's not a slam dunk, but if ever you take a swing with a high waiver claim that could go really well for you, I think that's this one for me, Simo. Not league winning, but like a difference-making 60-plus average. He could be a guy in your FRF with a bit of upside. So I'm going to swing for the fences on this one. I've got him as a very firm high waiver claim. Tiebreaker for us, Todzo?
I would say like a sort of a mid to high, so that 3-4. I'd be happy to spend on Aramaho.
Okay, so pretty high.
Pretty high, just in case he does lock down that role. We get that try scoring ability we saw at the start of the year.
Good
but I think Simo's got some great points there too.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And remember, I want you to keep in mind, gentlemen, we've got the slam dunks like your marks in for feeders if they're out there, but just realistic number one claims for us as well. Here's an easy one. I'm just going to answer quickly. You 100,000 million% you waiver claim Ollie Pascoe if he's out there in leagues, folks. Just absolutely. Could easily finish as the third highest hooker this year behind the two big guns. With Brayley out injured for a period of time as well. He's going to be probably close to second best, and he plays 15. So no-brainer for me. All right. Jojo Fafita really quickly. The average has been very good. It's a high-floor season, Todd. He's a good player. He deserved his origin spot. Mm-hmm. I think you could bring him in if you need a CT dub in not a bad matchup this week either. And then there's a chance that he doesn't play origin in 15. You'd have to think, though, he's at least featuring on the bench in Origin, wouldn't he? Because Shibasaki's gone down as well.
Yeah, Shibasaki down too. He'd probably still keep a spot on the bench if they take that kind of coverage. But yeah, Jojo Fee's a likely type this week against the Broncos, which seemingly is a bit of an easier matchup after what we saw last week. So yeah, I can get behind it as a fourth hold, a little bit of a hold for the bye round.
Jaden Campbell owners, get excited. 5/8 will be coming in round 18. That is a big moment for the Jaden Campbell owner.
Sure.
If you could go out and trade for him right now, gentlemen, you'd send a bit of a swag, wouldn't you? Especially if you needed a 15 win. You'd have a crack because there's a 5/8 on the run home. He's going to be very good for you.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He's a bit of a weird one, Jaden Campbell. Like he's always just waiting to bust out a massive score. It's I feel like he's only he's been scoring well. Like, don't get me wrong, he's been scoring really well, but I think he's still scratching the surface of what he could be from a Supercoach perspective this season. So it's definitely got the makings of a guy that could really explode on the run home.
I think the run home last year, Simo, where I was fortunate enough to pick him up in a trade, I really liked the setup where he was the 7 and was he could pick and choose his moments a bit more. I think as a 6, it's almost like he gets the ball, it's 2 from the ruck, and then he's just running every time. Like, it's harder to be the playmaker. I'm a little down on him in terms of that really high-end finish from last year, but because he's going to have 5/8 coverage, I'm like, it kind of balances out a bit. But the 75-80 average he nearly shot last year, I don't think it's set up with him with only Zane Harrison there, because they're keying on him and they know he's probably not going to create too much. So just my thoughts, gentlemen. Brimo, not a thing, right? Not even close. There's just no floor argument to be had. He'll get a couple of spikes, and touch wood, I suppose he covers fullback, and that would be a big win. But yeah, you might get a 5/8 start in a bye pinch next week, maybe.
Really doesn't cover fullback, does he? He's CT dub 5/8.
5/8, as in he'd cover fullback in real life if Kinney were to go down. Touch.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I get you. Yep,
That's all right, all good. And yeah, he'll be a 5/8 bye cover possibly next week if you're desperate. Yes, we are trusting in Karapani this week. You go up against the Titans, you got to go. You just hope the Bronx do what they did at the back end of the game. So
yeah,
we're going to go down with that ship, aren't we, Toz?
Oh yeah, I'm going down with it. It's actually costing me plenty of matchups. It's good.
I was going to say, it's just about sunk, I think, the Karapani ship.
Boy, howdy.
Oh, it's more than taking water. It's right at the back end of the journey. All right, to Sunday. Huge game for the Tigers after showing a bit of form. I love watching Appy Coruscant play football, but Will, unfortunately for owners, you'd have to think is on the bench for Origin, gentlemen. Like, they're crazy if they don't pick him on the bench. Absolutely bonkers, in my opinion. Like, he could run amok at the end of a half.
Yeah.
Happy. Service is elite. He's the guy. So that just put a little dampener. Terrell May, oh boy, there's a guy that plays football. He's awesome. Holy shit, he's good. Maverick Gaia, though, the brilliantly named Maverick Gaia, Tods, he's on an edge here. Sione Finau gone.
Yeah.
His brother obviously is on the shelf to like round 22. He's only got to oust Seyfarth,
which he's done.
Boy, was that a tough watch. One of the penalties he gave away at the end of that game, he was like he was trying to help them lose when they're in a winning position. It was bonkers. One of those flops. But anyway, Maverick Gaia, Todza, can you get around it?
Yes, mate. Well, I can only find one game in 2025 where he played 80 minutes on the edge. Mm-hmm. He did base 48 in that game, finishing with a score of 78, but he was playing for a pretty elite Penrith Panthers team. So, look, he's as good a shot as any to be like the next big thing and actually have it go. So I don't mind the play of having a go at him and spending a high enough waiver or a mid to a high waiver maybe.
He's a surprising one, isn't he? And eligibility, mate, just to confirm, just 2RF.
No, I'm going to have to check that, brother. I didn't have that up.
Thank you, mate. No, that's all right. Simo, just to check, mate, there's a little bit of room for this to go very well, considering bye coverage as well, right?
Mate, there's a lot more than just a little bit of room. I mean, there's no one really that has a mortgage on that spot. And
just 2RF.
Yeah, obviously he's moved across from the Panthers to go to the Tigers, which is a pretty big move for Maverick Guy because, it's not nothing that he's given up a spot at Penrith, which obviously his dad's a club legend at. And, they've obviously been a winning team for so long. Like, as a young player, like Maverick Guy could have easily just stayed at Penrith and sort of built into a vacant 2RF spot if he was willing to be patient. But obviously he's come across to the Tigers with his eyes set on, playing more consistent first grade, and that opportunity's definitely presented itself here. I honestly think he's as good a bet as any to just keep that spot now until Sam Wellerfine, who eventually returns in, round 20 something, where pretty much the end of the SuperCoach season. I think he's a really good dart throw, Maverick Guy, because you just don't know what he could be. He might fizzle out and not be much, but he could also just be a sneaky guy that could punch out sort of like a 55 to 60 in base, which would be pretty nice.
Yep. He's a tackler too. I think that's his thing, right? And I think that 80-minute game you spoke of in base power odds, decent tackle count, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't have it right up here, but
that's what I think.
48 base, pretty crazy.
I think that he's a tackler which will suit this scoring system as well. So, gentlemen, that's a really interesting one. Him versus Arama Ho. Now, obviously, Arama is someone you're going to play in your FRF almost certainly, but does have the duel. Gaia or Arama Ho? It's a good one.
Simo's nearly got me on the Gaia train, but I do think it's Arama Ho.
It's bloody close. I actually really like the shout. Arama, potentially rest of season value, probably locked in if he holds the spot.
FRF eligible.
Yeah, I think that's the clincher for me. But Simo, it's bloody close.
Yeah, it's probably closer than you think of the surface.
Imagine if Guy just becomes like last year's Halasima. That could easily happen.
It's just because of how good.
I just don't think he has the attack.
Amazing. Samuela's he was having a career year, finally lived up to the promise. They'll want him back as soon as possible. There's no doubt that he'll get his spot, right?
Yeah. I don't see Maverick Guy breaking SuperCoach. He'll be, if anything, he'll be like an 80-minute guy that is consistent because of that tackle base. But I just don't think he won't have a lot of attack to his game, I wouldn't imagine. But he's a young player. We could easily be wrong. Just on the surface, he hasn't quite had the consistent first grade yet to feel like he's going to break out in an attacking sense. I think he'll be a consistent number 3 2RF, and that's probably best case, to be fair. I don't want to oversell him.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's got to be it's got to be Arama Ho for the record. But I think Guy is not a bad fallback option.
Yeah, I'd have a stab. I really like it. He's someone you could sneak in a lower claim this week because he's not the big name. So sticking with you, Simo, the Charlie Murray inclusion, I really wanted to see Ethan Roberts get the start at 13, and I would have had a little bit of sneaky interest as an FRF2. I love what I saw of Ethan Roberts in the one game he played, albeit he had a bit of attacking stats to get his 50. But Charlie Murray, I've got a feeling, mate, with Roberts on the bench as well, it's a chopped up 13 role, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the counter argument to Maverick Guy. If Maverick Guy is good, then this 13 position is going to be bad. It's going to be a chopped up role. If Maverick Guy is crap, then Charlie Murray is probably going to be good. So it's you could look to pick up both and just sort of see how it goes. Knowing your luck, you'll probably start the wrong one in the first week and then hate yourself for it when they punch out a 35. But looking at the bench, we'd have to imagine that Ethan Roberts would come on and play through that middle. But then again, we did see Ethan Roberts come on and play in an edge only a few weeks back as well. So end of the day, we don't really know what's going to happen. We're just sort of guessing what we think, and maybe that might be with rose-colored glasses on. Maybe Maverick Guy, him getting 80 minutes is a bit of a pie in the sky and something that might not happen. But take your punts on this sort of unknown situation, because we know that Alex 12 is probably going to be out for, is it a month or so with that MCL? It's
really
something in
very
that range.
We're getting a lot of that at the moment, unfortunately. Our man Physio, give us some precision. Just having a dip. It's been a range of injury like 1 to 4 weeks. It's very imprecise. So given the 15 bye coverage, I like taking a stab on Maverick. I wouldn't be spending a claim on Charlie Murray with Ethan Roberts on the bench personally. I think you don't need to. You could free agent stash to see if he's valuable in 15. I'm okay with that. Meso is coming in hot with some quality questions. So Todd's up. Meso says, can you compare Fanua, Pole, Sands, Twal? Does have to be discussed because the minutes are going to be up here versus the very disappointing Lindsay Smith this week and rest of the season.
Yeah, Fanua Pole, what do you get? Like a 58 on the weekend. I do like his sort of uptick to sit at like a 55-minute roll and be that PPM guy. So I think I would take a safe Fanua Pole just with Royce Hunt's on a huge minutes guy, like safe. We're talking about Roberts going through the middle with Murray. So I do think there's a little bit of an uptick there for Fanua Pole this week. And Lindsay Smith's just lost it, hasn't he?
He's not disrespectful to the man. He's a hard grinding player.
Yeah, easy grind.
He looks more plotterish in this faster gameplay. That's what it is. And I think that's I don't want to say he's a plotter because he's still he's effective. And he played that 13 role last week and did absolutely fine in a big game. But he just doesn't have enough zip off the mark to really push defenders back. And it's and even work rate defensively, Todd. It's not enough to be SuperCoach relevant for mine.
No, yeah, I agree. I'll tell you what, Terrell May is about to have a week this week. He's playing 80.
It's going to be hilarious when you see some of these players. Like if Barney gets picked on the bench for Origin and Terrell May's there with like 56 tackles, no misses, and like 300 meters.
Yeah.
They're crazy. Absolutely
so
crazy. Can you imagine if he was eligible for Queensland, how fast he's jettisoned into this team to replace Carrigan?
They might play him on the edge. That's how crazy they are.
I don't disagree with you. Like, it is bonkers to me that he's not being selected. He may not be everyone's cup of tea, but his performance speaks to itself. He's a stud. All right. Yeah. Great question, May. So that's a very niche draft question if ever I've seen it. Absolutely. That got me going, mate. Good from you. Over to the mighty Panthers. Boy, do they just find a way. Paul Alamotti with one of the more funny misses of the year, and then two of the best finishes for a winger. Like, that athleticism for a stocky man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
He's such a gun.
I think he's underrated, gentlemen. Like, he is actually a stud. Like, no wonder Isaac Tango can't get a look into this full team. Wow. Holy shit.
The scary thing with Alamotti is that, like, he is clearly, I mean, maybe not under the high ball, but in attack, like, he's a bloody good winger, like, in terms of finishing. I mean, obviously he's got To'o there and Milky Jenkins is killing it too, but, like, him playing centre, I don't even think that's his best spot anymore. But
it's win.
Like, he obviously feels a role there for the Panthers, but yeah, he's such a good player to attack for them as a winger because he's just got that Brian To'o style to him. But but obviously not quite the tackle busting runs of To'o, but he's just got that similar build.
That athleticism, and good on him for that final try after that. Absolutely, that'll be howler of the season. That was pretty funny to watch, and like everyone, I had a little giggle. But to bounce back the way he did in a big game, like, hats off to the man. That's class. I don't want to spend too much time waxing lyrical about Casey McLean, but holy Jesus, like, that's it. That's all I got. He's ridiculous, absolutely fecking ridiculous. Welcome in, lock it in. We'll jump into, those games are coming up, my friend, so we'll jump into that. There's really nothing here. Liam Martin's not going to be a thing. He doesn't need to be. He can just punch out 45, 50 minutes of aggression. Talk that he's just a walk back into an Origin team over Olakau'atu also made me giggle quite a lot. What are you doing if New South Wales do? Are you trying to lose? Like, what?
You need to stay off Facebook, man. Honestly, you read so much shit.
Read a lot of NRL content, mate.
You're reading some of the worst shit I've ever heard in my entire life tonight. You keep hearing these scoops. It's crazy work.
Just call, mate. I used to call you Scoop on this potty. I suppose it's the baton.
You're on some wild stuff.
Fair commentary though. I've got a few links to a few. That's very fair. Right. Freddie Lussick will continue doing just a plotterish job to get you by at the hooker position if you're absolutely desperate.
How are the Knights forums going, Redford? Do you still frequent them?
Only got about 7 or 8 of them rolling at the moment, mate.
God.
Really love it.
How many times a weekend do you get into a full-blown argument with a bloke?
No, I don't take it on. I stopped that years ago. There's no point. People aren't very good at changing their opinion on things, whereas I am. So it's really a pointless argument. So anyway, actual facts get off Facebook, Bruss. Wow. Solid advice from the lads. Intervention may be needed. All right. That's it. Bloody Panthers. Holy shit. Sharks v Dragons. Up the Dragons. We were absolutely pumped for those wonderful forwards. The move of Hamish Stewart to the edge has just completed the puzzle. They're powerful, man. And
they've been good.
I'm going to bring him up. He won't be someone you carry through the bye, but dare I say it, probably not someone you're against FRF2, especially with 18 coverage. He's going to keep growing, man. He's on.
Yeah, I don't know how high his upside is, though. Like, they were pretty forward-heavy bench, and they do rotate them pretty well. But
Sure.
And with like the Stewarts and the Eagans, they're playing 80. Couchman's going big minutes too. So I don't know. I think his his ceiling isn't going to be crazy high. I think he'll probably punt out of 40 to 45 most weeks, to be honest.
Fair play. Simo, if you bought low on Val Holmes, he actually looked like Val Holmes on the weekend. He looked sprightly, he looked energetic, and he looked like he was accelerating. Is he back? Is he timing up for Origin 3? What's going on?
Look, he might be back. I mean, we don't know. I mean, like you said it earlier. I mean, Tony Staggs was probably shouldn't have been playing. I wouldn't have thought. Like, he just didn't seem like Katoni. And like, obviously Val scored the first try early. Scored the first try early. And I thought it was obviously a breakout game for Val this season. So yeah, if you did buy low, you'd have to be happy with what you got from him last week. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the Dragons can get a bit of confidence from this, and Val can sort of come back into like CTW relevance now after he's had a good game finally.
Yep. Maybe if people aren't fully buying in the hype of Hamish Stewart, he is in fact an 80-minute man now finally. I believe he got through the full game. He's a start. Go get him. If people aren't, they might think he's the worst of those 3 or 4. He might be, but he's still going to do a very, very good job for you. Good player. All right, that's really it. I don't want to go too hard on the Dragons, albeit it's probably not a terrible matchup against this version of the Sharks, who I still don't think are that fantastic. On the Sharkies, if you needed a halfback, are you interested in Duffy or Puru? And I'm going to bring it up. Our man Lockett-In is joined in. Good to have you, sir. Loving the chat so far, gents. No trade for me this week, but a halfback plug required for a couple of weeks. Duffy, Volkman, Puru, or Liam Sutton. Good rate. They're the names. Any preference here, Simo?
I mean, this is really just pick a name from a hat, to be honest. Like, there's pros and cons for all of them.
Yep.
Puru scored a try last week and only scored, 50-something?
Yeah.
From memory?
52.
Sutton's obviously scored in back-to-back games. Duffy, I said I'm not a huge fan of as a 6, but I think he's an okay player. And like Ronnie Volkman didn't bloody kick goals like we thought he would. Like, he kicked one goal and then Joash took it over. So, honestly, mate, this is just, give each one a letter and draw it out of a hat.
I think it's Puru for the reason it is against the Dragons, and given it, he's only just come into first grade with Hines being out for a little while, at least a couple of weeks, probably at least next week. I'm Puru for mine for this one, and you can't go Sutton because he's off next week. And Duffy's okay, like it's fine, but I still think Puru is the play. So good luck.
I think Duffy's probably where I lean.
Yeah, okay.
As I said earlier, I don't feel great about him.
No, I'm Puru.
Puru, yeah. Good stuff. Good luck. Oh, sorry, Lockett-In's added one more here before I get to you, Meso. Puru sucks, but St. George. Duffy, no goal kick. Feels like Volkman, sorry. Sutton, big body, but sucks. He's all right. I think that Volkman not goal kicking really just torpedoes that. And Gentlemen, I don't think it's a guarantee that he holds the spot. Like, I still think that they would rather Joash in there beside Moses. I'm just not 100% convinced it's Volkman's spot rest of season, personally. Look at him. Sutton by. Duffy plays the next two and has some try assists upside. Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry, Todd, do you agree, mate, that I don't think it's Volkman's spot on lock at all?
No,
I think Joash is...
I think if Moses was in there, they'd be playing Joash at 6.
Probably, right. Even though it was terrible. When he did it last year, it wasn't just a bit rough. It was terrible.
Yeah, last year was a different thing, though.
I agree. I think Joash is not a bad stash with his dual eligibility as well. Just saying. Covers 15-18. Don't hate it. Pookley Woo, welcome back, mate. We trusting McGuinness. This is a good raise. He has to be discussed. To get 50-plus mins, it was last week a blip. Scored decent and all base. Dodzer, he bloody looked back, mate. He actually did his great thing.
I can get behind it, mate. It gets me excited. It does. I need to see it. I just need to see it for more than 1 week, though, don't I? I think to get him, you'd have to spend that mid to high. Like, you'd have to, because of the name. Which I'd probably be happy to do, especially like if in a situation where you need some 2RF depth there, but there's every chance it just goes back to being rubbish next week,
Can you imagine McGuinness in his peak in this current scoring with tackling?
Oh, it'd be so fun.
He'd be basing like what was he doing? 50-odd tackles a week is probably his average.
Oh.
I'm with you, Todd. I think like if you really need a 2RF, which some will, I can get around this one, but I don't want to hard sell it either.
No, it feels weird. Where are you at, Simo?
Yeah, that's the exact comment. I can get around it, but I don't want to hard sell it because first game back this year, like he scored, like played similar minutes and only scored like 30-something. Yeah. And like we have to just remember, Blake Browley got injured last week. It's like, did that mean bigger minutes for all the Sharkies forwards? Obviously, for Noah Blake backing up from Origin. Like,
who came out and played dummy half when Brayley went off?
I assume Beryl did, right?
It was Beryl.
Beryl came on, okay.
Yeah. You just don't know what it does to the rotation.
Is Beryl going to go 80 with this bench?
This is the thing. I would imagine this is where McInnes could stumble into some value here. I don't think Beryl's going to play 80 minutes. I'd be very surprised. Cam McInnes could so easily just rotate through and give him a spell
15 at hooker.
And if he does that, Cam McInnes he's a starter. He's absolutely a starter. And given the bye coverage as well, both 15 and 18, given AFB, I think very unfairly will get picked for Origin again after really not doing anything. That just gives even more middle minutes. So I think I'm warming to the McInnes side of this.
Oh, yeah. God, I'd love this. It's one of those blokes you'd love to pick up. Sorry, Simo. You'd love to pick up and get right because he's just such a legend.
He's amazing.
He's an old fantasy, from times gone by. Like, just get behind it. It's just
he's your like when people used to get on Shawnee Fensom, that's Meso. That's a good spot from you. You're absolutely right. Our apologies. It was his brother Hohepa Puru got on, which is why the barrel start is unexpected. Those two are splitting minutes. Yeah, that's a really good call out. Always good to have you on. Hohepa didn't. He's kind of a bigger body for a hooker. I should have picked that up. They are going to chop up.
Hohepa Puru a front rower?
I thought he was a front rower.
He's a big hooker. He did step in.
I think if it's the guy I'm thinking of.
He's not quite Sam McIntyre areas, but we're approaching. We're approaching. He's a big boy.
Jeez,
good call. There was a split. Jaden Beryl, gentlemen. Obviously, Meso's not big on the play, but he has to be discussed. Simo, he's got, I think, service-wise, not bad for a non-starting NRL player. Is he going to run the ball enough? Like, is he going to tackle enough? Will he get the minutes?
Well, yeah, we've already been a bit worried about the minutes there. Like, I think he'll play 60, to be honest. Like, it's okay. I think he'll get a spell from someone, whether it is McInnes or someone else. But, like, if you own Brayley and Hooker's pretty dire out there, you could probably look to pick him up. But I wouldn't waiver a guy like that, though, because I don't think his prospects are, like, super favourable. So,
okay.
Yeah. he's just someone that I'd let go through the keeper in terms of waivers and the free agent if I was so inclined.
Meso said you're thinking maybe Simo of how Tapawa. He is a big boy.
No, I'm pretty sure Ho Hepper is like massive, dude.
He's pretty big, but he did. Meso is dead right. He did play hooker. And it was weird. And he looked huge. Yeah, he looks massive.
The Puru brothers, I swear one was a 7 and one's a prop.
Yeah, maybe some conversion just to get him minutes or something. He didn't pass the ball a lot. He ran it a few times and sort of it wasn't a traditional hooker role, put it that way.
Yeah, get behind McInnes, I reckon.
Yeah. Worth a stab for sure. And the last question, I did put it up briefly, but we'll just make sure of it because Meso on fire this evening with some quality draft specialist questions. He's hoping for a Hiroti starting appearance against the Dragons of Delusion. It is. He also hasn't quite hit the heights this year, but on the left-hand side there with Stone Street, like, come on. It has to be this week if he starts. I'd also wouldn't hate a bit of Talakai if he snuck into the starting spot this week, gentlemen. You'd be watching that game late if you could. So, yeah.
No, you can miss me a Talakai, mate.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to come up against him against the Dragons, mate. I think they had a good week last week. They played their grand final. It could revert to type. So
yeah, they definitely may have. Like, I guess the challenge you have. This is a late game in the round. Like, if you're going to leave it this long and it doesn't go the way you want it to, whether you are waiting for Talakai or you're waiting for Hiroti, like. Imagine if you had all your eggs in that basket and all of a sudden Kaolero comes back and plays and then you're sort of stuck with, picking up a Dragons outside back. You're not going to play Talakai off the bench or whatever. Like you could lock yourself out. Yeah. It's just extra risk.
Quality options here in the Monday game. You've got to love it. Thursday through Monday games this week.
Oh, yeah. This is a game you want to be starting players in.
Mate, Jordan Samrani, get around him if he's out there. He won't be, though, because the snappy listeners would have picked him up by now. But if he is, go get him.
Go get him. Go get the beak.
He's definitely, with the bye coverage coming up, if he's still out there, there's an argument for a low-end claim here, and I'd be more than happy to start him against the Dogs. They don't defend very well. They're pretty shit, really. They're absolutely cooked as a team. And the service that Kurt Mann's giving them, that's it. They've trawled the depths of the NRL, and that's the best they can come up with. Good work. Reed Marnie's just sitting there just smiling, I think, at this point. So other than Sam Rani, Brian Kelly in attack, Simo, we've been on this for years. He just is good at running the football and fending people off and scoring. So I would absolutely start him in this matchup, mate, pretty easily, actually.
Yeah, I would too.
Not really big on the Fox or Sean Russell in this setup, to be honest, with some halves that aren't really zipping the ball around. Like Kelly just goes and does it himself sort of thing. Fox is reliant more on the service. So not really big on the Fox, to be honest with you. And not really the Sean Russell guy either. I think I've made that pretty clear previously. He's fine. The rest of it, Jack Williams back in the middle, which is not ideal with Katonga back. Looked underdone, Todd's a bit. There's better to come, and there's bye coverage to be had too.
Yeah, I like Katonga. I think he should be owned.
He should be. How does he factor in if he's there versus Aramaho and Mav Gaia, Tots?
I'd be thinking Katonga.
Over the two of them?
I think he's got that definite lockdown spot.
I think so too. They need him to have a good finish to the year to set up for next year. I'm absolutely with you, mate. Aside from that, Talendis Silva holding on to a starting spot in the NRL. There's a guy. Woof. Chew up that space, son. Waste that time for your outside backs. Love to see it. Oh, that's tough to watch. Pass the ball. Pass the ball. Oh.
He's not big on dishing it off. He loves to just take a few steps for himself. Bit of the Sony Lukes about him.
I can't wait till Moses comes back and chews him out live on the field.
Oh, that is so good, isn't it?
Well, let's be real, Todd. It's not a good thing to do to a young player, but clearly that's not how training has gone. And then this kid's just stamp, turn, sometimes dummy, throw.
It hasn't stopped him. Talon's going to keep talenting.
True.
Very good.
And he's starting in the NRL. So is Jack de Bellin, I'm just noticing there. That's bold. in 2026.
Boy, they look so much worse when Dylan Watt came on at lock.
Oh,
Far out. He unlocks them, dude.
Completely changes the shape.
So
He makes you nervous, Tots, as an opposing team that he's going to spark them to a win. He's
I can do a little something. Man, Jack de Belin is Yawn City.
I love it. The brilliantly named Jethro Rinakama. Could you fire him up this week? Quick thumbs up, thumbs down. Just love saying his name, to be fair.
If he keeps the spot, there's a chance Tracy comes back, mate.
Moving right along.
I try to say it with a straight face, mate.
He actually did really well. I can't. I think his best chance is Kiraz didn't finish the game and May, just worried. Oh, man. I'm going to controversial call here, gentlemen. You better believe I'm selling high on Jacob Kiraz going to the bye round if I need a win. I would be so nervous for that guy going down again. He's running 30 times a game on a busted leg. He's had back injuries. They're asking so much of this guy, and they look so much better with him at fullback as well. Guys, I'm selling high. I'm selling high hardcore here.
He's such a good SuperCoach player when he plays. He's so good.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah. He's his own worst enemy, isn't he? Like, he just absolutely towels himself up every week.
He is. So you would agree. I'm not saying, listeners, make sure you're hearing me. I'm not saying you're desperately selling him, but if you could get a haul, like a massive haul for Kiraz, he's also going to get dual eligibility by round 18, which is enormous. So factor that all in, but I'd be selling if I could. Bronson Jerry, just give him the ball. First half, he was fantastic and could be a SuperCoach option if he does it. But can I have some respect on the name Anari Tuala, gentlemen? He's having a good season in real life. Can I at least get a bit of love?
Mate, we talk about him every week.
We have to.
How much love we want to give Anari Tuala in one season?
I want to hear from someone not named me that he's going good.
We talk about him every week, how good he's going.
Meso says it's a good point. Would Connor Tracy actually come in? No, I don't think so. I don't think he's back. For the rest of it, Statili Tupanua, unfortunately, it will come to a run at the end. Sorry, the run will come to an end when both Preston and Big Villy comes back. But until then, you can't play better on an edge than he did last week.
Yeah.
He actually, that would have been a career best game for Tupanua, I reckon, last week. He was doing stuff with and without the ball. Incredible. I know he's like, he walks a fine line with his defense sometimes, and you got to be worried about him sitting down for 10 or whatever, or missing a few weeks with suspension. But like, as a number 2 FRF, he's been a great pickup in this little period without these guys playing.
I think, Simo, the thing I respect about, he does missile in, but he does lower his boom really well. That's how I think he gets away with it. You know, some of those other guys, they kind of get there and they try and be tough. He kind of missiles in low, and I think it's fun to watch. Probably a sell coming up. You ride this out, but when we get to about round 17, listeners, probably starting to think about a sell with those other two that'll be a few weeks coming back after that, after the bye. So that's it for the Dogs. That's it for Parramatta for me. Nothing else to be seen there. Questions from the Book of Face, please, Mr. Top.
Yes, we've got 2 here, mate. Vance says we play buys, potentially looking at dropping Toto next week. He hasn't been the greatest CT dub. This league only plays 3 CT dubs, so he's going to miss 15, 16, 18, 19.
Yeah.
10-man lead. Do you think he's a drop?
In that specific format, he was dropped in our league record. I'd still try not to, but it really depends. If you got 3 beasts, I'd love him to be the platoon and the 4th in that rotation. But depends how many he's got on the bench as well, Todd. I get it. Like, I don't think he's not the left winger for Penrith. That's who you want. Left center, left winger. So,
Simo, thoughts?
Yeah, I think I agree with Redford. I mean, he definitely said he was dropping Brian Toa, right? Like he's definitely doing that.
Yeah, I said potentially looking to drop Toa. Yeah, next week.
Yeah, rightio. If that's the decision, if that's what he wants to do.
Make sure the listeners are saying we're not saying in a standard league drop Brian Toll. Don't do that.
No.
He's definitely still a top 25 CT dub. He's just not. He's not a top 10 rest of season like some might have thought he would be.
Anyway, next question from us, guys. Angus Crichton versus Bo Firmall rest of season.
Gus is cooked. Daddy Firmall for mine, somewhat comfortably.
Simo?
Yeah, I'd go Firmall.
3 Firmalls all round. Daddy Firmall. That's all the questions made from the book of Space.
Good stuff. Thank you, sir. Simo, anything from X tonight, mate?
Yes. Saran, who's been in the chat, but I assume he's still there. He has Keanu Kinney and has been – sorry, he's got Keanu Kinney and Isaiah Oyongi.
Okay.
So he has fullback covered, but he's been offered Brian To'o for Kinney. Would you do it?
Todzer?
Sorry, say that one again, sorry.
So he's got Oyongi and Kinney.
Yeah.
And he's been offered Brian To'o for Kinney.
So Oyongi. Yeah, if you need it in the CT dubs, yeah, I would go.
Yeah, it's okay. Just I think the 15 bye, you've got 2 options at play in 15, and you can use one as an AE. So I probably think the timing of that one's a bit weird, Simo, personally.
Yeah, I'd rather just keep Kinney for now. I think you can get. I think if you try and sell Kinney in the buy round, you could probably look for a better player than To'o.
So
Yeah.
Second question he's got, he has Payne Haas and Oyongi to get Tedesco and Fletcher Sharp.
I'm a yes if you don't have the 5/8 coverage and you've got the fullback. Sorry, you're getting the fullback, but you need the 5/8 coverage. If, say, you're running one of the shitters, I'm actually a yes on that one because I think that one gives you a better chance to win the league.
Mm.
And I honestly think FRF, like the good startable options this year, they're not crazy hard to come by compared to years past. So the gap of Payne Haas to your like mid-tier, like I'll literally pluck the first name I see here, like Trey Mooney or what's the other one? Leo Thompson. Those sort of like 65 average guys. I don't know if the difference is that massive, Simo.
I'd almost go the other way and say that I think there's about 5 super elite front row forwards that are literally scoring 85 plus every single week. Like you've got obviously you've got Payne Haas and Terrell May that we knew coming into the season. You've now got Jackson Ford scoring 80s for fun. Alex Twal was before his injury. You've now got Ryan Couchman doing it every single week. Like
Toby.
Leo Thompson's like I know Leo Thompson, he's a great argument for what you're trying to make here, but there's just not for me, there's not as many Leo Thompsons as there are these uber elite front row guys that are punching out sort of 85 pluses. Like to me, I think Payne Haas, for the record, I'd probably do the trade, but like giving up Payne Haas is still a big deal for me in this particular season.
Yeah, I think the only reason I'm going to add some of this, the analysis, great points, Simo, is the schedule for both the Knights and Roosters around the finals time in most SuperCoach leagues as well. I think your Sharp Teddy combo gives you a better chance to win a week, whereas Payne gives you that just like incredible floor plus a bit extra. I'm always going to side with that. And I'm not full. I think Yongi is incredibly talented. Don't get me wrong. Do I think he punches you out, 3 or 4 hundreds on the run home? No, I don't.
Yeah. It's a good discussion. At the moment, we're both taking the Tedesco Sharp side of it. Toddy?
Yeah, I'm the exact same, mate. I'm the exact same.
Yep. Great question. Ripping trade again. Love those.
Oh, sorry, I just missed it. There was more context to that. He's got more strength in his forwards and limited backs. So if he's got strength in his forwards, then get rid of Haas.
Helps. Yeah, and if you're going to trade Payne Haas, Simo, go get a haul like that. There wouldn't be many trades I'd give up. But you like Teddy and Sharp, you could have the number 1 5/8 and fullback for the final series of SuperCoach. Well done. That's a sick trade.
Yeah. And there's one more from SC Upside, who's written in a few times in the past, but not for a little while. Not sure if it's a G up or not, Redford, but he wants to know when you and I are going to go on his podcast for a mega buy and sell episode.
Oh, second
Welcome
bite.
to it. Welcome
Good to see
it,
Toddy
mate.
got the invite.
Second bite. Hey,
He's
that's
probably-
the upside. Cop one of these.
Mate, have you seen the lad? He's very sexy in his own right. Like,
Fucking
you can't
hell.
have too much sexiness on one potty. We're just the meat and potatoes, mate. You're the sizzle, right?
Listen to it. I'll tell you what, I got way more fans on here than you realise, FC Upstate. Fucking get out up here, man.
I thought you were coming at me then for a minute.
No.
I was like,
No,
mate,
I
I'll
don't want
talk
to be
you
on that podcast anyway, so that's cool.
Zimo,
He's
happy,
not
mate.
dirty at all, Toddy. It's fine.
No, not at all, mate. I'm
No.
good.
Happy to explore options, mate. I know you do make, and we'll give him a shout out. You're certainly the preseason, the Wonderful Magic Sponge podcast that you've appeared on a couple of times there, which is sick. So always happy to look at options, aren't we, mate? To expand and grow.
Yeah, it's always good to have content out there. That's the main thing. Mate.
That's it.
People love it. We all love it. We love it too. Like you want to listen to SuperCoach on the drive to work rather than the radio. So
Literally the other day, I couldn't get the connection with Bluetooth, so I plucked on the radio for a bit. What the hell are we listening to? It's
Grim.
holy crap! People still listen to this stuff. Like,
I made the mistake of, it was the day after Origin, and I just wanted to listen to like some Origin chat on the radio, albeit like just random radio hosts on.
Yeah.
I won't say the name of the. Because I tried several channels. I was like, surely someone's going to be
anything.
talking about something, and it was just dross. It was just they're talking about all this other crap. It was like far out. Like,
yeah, it was brutal, man. Like, so actually, and at least for listeners will not be surprised. 612 ABC and the Crackly Sound, mate. I'm happy to give them a plug. I love listening to Grandstand Rugby League, Andrew Moore and the like. That's good fun. So if you get stuck, of course, in between games. Just quickly, Paul's mouth has asked the question. Was on bye. Todd, this is for you, mate. So is Jacob Laban playing his way to relevance, or is it just the absence of Capewell? Picked him up for a 1 week play. Well done. Great 80 and outstanding catch to turn and swivel. That's his best moment in an NRL jersey, Todd, so far.
Good stuff.
Probably dropping him from Clark waiver for FRF cover. I'm fully on board with that play.
Yeah, get behind that too. Yeah.
It is. Laban's time, Todd's up. If Halasima keeps struggling, I tell you what, mate, it may be closer towards the end of the year to get in the pop because.
Yeah, but Jacob Laban falls in out of form all the time as well. He's always hot and cold. Like I think him and Lecker have been kind of similar in that term with they've been hot and cold.
Really quickly, I get DMs about Lecker somewhat on the reg, so I just want to throw it out there. Todd, I don't know what to make of this. He is a terrifying drop, but also a terrifying play. 40 minutes after doing absolutely nothing, essentially got hooked. He just wasn't playing.
No, he did his hamstring.
Did he hammy, Simo?
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't realize
Didn't come back on after half time.
Done his hammy is in he's like looking doubtful for 15 or just a twinge?
Look, I think it was a mild one, but they still reckon it's 2 weeks, right? Even a mild hamstring. So.
So easy drop. You're not carrying him through 15. No way.
Yeah, look, Lecker, he could get named in 15, but
yeah, okay.
I mean, what could you see? Like, I'm one of the bigger Lecker truthers there is, but you'd be pretty hard pressed to feel good about starting Lecker at the moment. It's just been, it's been a bit of a tale of woe.
It's been one of the more surprising ones, and one we haven't got right, and I think we all believe the talent's there, but just doesn't seem to get the early ball into a gap in this current system.
Oh, they play him so badly. Like
they do.
Like you look at that try he scored against I think it was against the Raiders. Like, it was the first game of the season where he got it about 15 out, got early ball, and just stepped and surged and fended through. Like it was just Lecker, being a beast. And I don't think they've almost given him any of those similar plays again. Like
almost
throw the kid the ball and just let him go. Like, they just don't do it.
Just quickly, then, I'm not saying don't do that waiver claim with Laban for Clark, but maybe just for the week 15 bye, then maybe Laban absolutely will be a good play irrespective because Lecker injury, obviously Capewell will be picked for Origin. Not his fault. He got shoved at the centres and couldn't defend where he had no legs left. Crazy Shibber didn't come on, by the way, gentlemen. very confusing. But, maybe Laban will be relevant. So probably if he can hang on, it's probably not the worst.
Yeah, like Laban will definitely be relevant, like regardless of Lecker. I mean, he's going to play minutes, just capable of minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good shout. Todzo, it is important for listeners as well. They'll be looking at one L Metcalf sitting out there in waiver land and possibly free agent land. I just want to touch on, we said that if TMM had led them to a victory, say your Wars win against Penrith, we're not even having this conversation. That's door shut, done. It's his job. He obviously had that massive moment where Casey McLean had a huge misread in defense and set up Tame. That was huge for his prospects, in my opinion. Do they want to stick Pompey as a goal kicker in big matches, man? It's not something I'd want to rely on. But Metcalf's also not been that great. Are we picking up Metcalf and stashing to make sure it's TMM? Or do you think don't even bother?
I think Metcalf should be stashed. But I still think that TMM, we still looked decent enough last week that TMM keeps his spot. I do think Luke Metcalf should be on some pines, though.
Yeah. I read his New South Wales Cup performance and he did okay. He did one flashy setup of a try, but it wasn't an all-round performance by any means. I do have him stashed in Liga record. I think he's absolutely, given it's not a tough bye week at all for the rest of the teams. Simo, just to confirm, mate, do you think it's worth just stash if he's not named in 15? Make a call.
At the moment, I'm a no. I don't think he needs to be owned at all.
TMM.
I think TMM's going to have, obviously injury is going to affect everything and this go out the window. But as we see here now, I just think TMM's got that role. That'll be if you play 15, obviously the Warriors have the bye this week. Metcalf isn't going to be named to start for the Warriors in 15. So,
true.
Chances are you're going to have to drop Metcalf through 15 to get numbers. So, for me, he was an easy drop last week because, I know fully well I'm not going to be looking to carry him through 15. Obviously, if you're not competitive in 15, it's a different story. Or if you've got a roll, a walkover win, you could probably have him on your team and see how you go. But for I think a lot of managers out there, I just don't see an avenue where you're going to feel good about carrying him through that bye. It's for that reason I'm happy to let him go because I just don't think it's his spot. I think it's TMM and CHT.
Yeah, Lockenin's just saying about the CHT potential drop. Todd, we've spoken about this a lot. His defense has to have Webster's attention. I cannot see Universe CHT gets dropped now. I really can't.
Nah, he doesn't get dropped, mate. No way.
No. But Lockenin's right. It's not that's out of the realms of possibility. But I think, Simo, you've kind of nailed it. If you don't need the number in 15, I actually think as a free agent pickup and stash or very low waiver claim, I like the stash. For the circumstances you said, let him go through to the keeper. I'm with you, mate. If you're the TMM owner and you've got the room, that's kind of the ultimate play for me. Or even if you're worried about CHT, I kind of like that as well if you can carry through the bye because you're kind of covered on both sides and you absolutely want the half combination for the Wars in SuperCoach, Todd.
Yeah, for sure.
Last one here, quick one. Hold Wilton or Sami. Have depth for both, but just who is the value play to possibly hold for around 15? If that's Teague Wilton, he's got the best buy coverage there is. He's amazing. So, and Sammy's just 15. So absolutely Teague. All right, gentlemen. Monster Potty tonight. Heaps of actions with the teams. Too much to recap because it's so specific, I reckon, Simo. It's really based on how your team's sitting. But I did ask your number one overall this week if they're available. I'm not including Marky Mark. It's the two RFs this week that look pretty interesting, right? So D Fifi, you just go and get him if he's out there. No doubt number one.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Pretty obvious.
Yep. All right. Cool. Done. Simo, thanks very much, mate. And I want to tell you, you are absolutely in business. Your internet connection,
beautiful,
350% better than most weeks, and 1,000,000% better than your ventriloquist show from last week.
Well, I'm on Saran style up over here, He's sorted me out.
On your Saran.
Very funny.
On your Saran. No, mate, good to have you and be able to hear what's going on. And I did, for the record, still enjoy last week, just you and I hitting it old school, mate. Good fun.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you half the time, but yeah, it was great. Probably why I enjoyed it so much.
Chatting to myself, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Todd, now, sorry that you aren't invited across for some guest appearances, mate, but you will always be welcome on the BDE podcast, mate. You bring the sex.
Mate, this is the place we want to be anyway, mate. You know, that's how it is. It's all right, mate. It's good to be back.
Love it, mate. Lock it in. That's the way, boys, and how good's draft. Here, good sir. We absolutely love it. Thanks for staying with us. It's been a long potty, this one. A lot of good content. Absolutely like and subscribe if you can. Let your family know about us. And special shout out to our many female viewers. We absolutely love it here in the BDE land. As always, listeners, get that BDE India. Oh, yeah. On your pooply work.